Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Dorothy Whiston from Inside Out Reentry of Iowa City. Dorothy, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You have a fundraiser comedy show with a pretty famous Iowa City native coming up in a couple of weeks. But before we talk about the Mystery Hour, tell me a little bit about Inside Out Reentry.
Okay. Inside Out started in early 2015, and we serve people returning to Johnson County after incarceration. So some of them come to us straight from prison. Some come through the DOC's halfway house system. And some have been back in the community but just would like to connect with other people going through what they're going through. So we do practical things, try to get people situated in housing and employment and with insurance and IDs. And then we are a support community. We have weekly meetings where people come and talk about their lives and their challenges and successes. And we try to provide opportunities for life skills classes, like financial literacy, computer literacy, things like that. And some people come and just want a couple referrals, and then they're on their way. But lots and lots of people find a home at Inside Out Reentry.
In the movies, a person is released from incarceration. They're put back in the usually way out of style clothes that they entered prison with, and go back to their lives. But the reality is there's a lot more steps, and it's a lot more difficult.
Yes, it's very difficult. We've heard people tell us that coming back into the community and getting established successfully is almost harder than doing time. And that says a lot. So there are lots of legal barriers that people face. It's, for example, legal to discriminate against people in employment and housing due to their felony convictions, their criminal record. And they're excluded from all sorts of professions and voting, so it's a huge challenge, to say nothing of the stigma. And I think both for the people, sometimes I think they think it's bigger than it is, but it's also very, very real. And people do not understand. I call it the criminal legal system rather than criminal justice system, because I don't think there's much just about it. Do not understand how it affects people and how it, is filled with the inequalities and inequities racially and all sorts of ways in terms of poverty that our general society is.
We're going to talk about your fundraiser in just a minute, but what are you all privately funded? Is there, is there grant funding, government funding, things that help, or how does the organization sustain its programs?
Yes, we get funding from both the city of Iowa City and Johnson County. We're just in the process of buying a house, which will be the first reentry house in Johnson County, and we've gotten money through the city, from federal money, and through the Housing Trust Fund of Johnson County. And then a huge part of our money is from grants, smaller grants from businesses and faith communities and individuals.
Well, as we well know here in public media, people say, "Oh, you get funding from the government," and we get some. It's not enough.
No,
not even close.
It's not.
Which leads us to your event, the Mystery Hour, which is a comedy show, live comedy show, by a pretty famous, if you're in that milieu, by a pretty famous Iowa City native, Jeff Houghton.
Yes. So Jeff is part of a family that goes back several generations in Iowa City, and forward as well. And he now lives in Springfield, Missouri. I had the opportunity a few years ago when I was traveling to visit family to see the Mystery Hour in Springfield, which he did. He doesn't do it regularly there anymore, but in a theater much like the Englert Theater, where it will be in Iowa City. And it was just a delight. He's a very smart and funny guy, very creative with how he spends the hour and a half that he performs, and has a wonderful mix of comedy and building social consciousness and community. So it's a really dynamic program.
The videos that I took a look at that you had shared with some of his work made it look like a talk show format.
It is.
That, yeah, so that's and I think it was it YouTube or cable or all of the above? Or?
Yes. I mean, for I think 10 seasons it was franchised on several major TV networks, usually in college markets around the country. He's won 4 Emmys for the show. He interned with David Letterman after college, and that's kind of the format. I think it's been described as Letterman-esque, and also Prairie Home Companion on stage.
So what do you think the show at the Englert is going to, I mean, we know what it's going to look like. Will there be guests? Will there be music? Will it have a talk show feel or more of a stand-up comedy performance feel?
It will have a talk show feel. So there will be a musical performance by James Tetson and the Rollback, which are a blues band in Iowa City. The special guest is Iowa City Mayor Bruce Teague, who I think and hope is going to actually also sing with the musical guest.
We have had Mayor Teague do music at our events, and he is the real deal.
Yeah, he is. He's great. And plus, he's just lots of fun and a good-hearted person. So it'll be fun to hear from him. And then Michelle Hines, the director of Inside Out, and Eddie Walker, one of our participants, longtime participants, will share some of what Inside Out does and what it's like to return to the community.
The event is the Mystery Hour live at the Englert on March 24th. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how do people get tickets? The regular Englert box office?
Yes, regular Englert box office, either in person or online. And
of course, they can visit your website to find out more about this event and watch a little video with Jeff, and of course, also find out more about Inside Out.
Yes, absolutely.
And that website is?
InsideOutReentry.com.
Dorothy, good luck with it, and welcome back, one of our own. It's always fun when somebody from Iowa goes out and makes it big on the national scene, and then they come back, and we get to see them do what they do so well in our own community, and of course raise money for your programs.
Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot for being here. Again, InsideOutReentry.com for more information about the show at the Englert coming up on March 24th. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30 or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or however you get your podcasts. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.